The meaning of life, or the answer to the question, what is the meaning of life, pertains to the significance of living or existence in general. Many other related questions include why are we here? What is life all about? What is the purpose of existence? There have been many proposed answers to these questions from many different cultural and ideological backgrounds. This search for life's meaning has produced much philosophical, scientific, theological, and metaphysical speculation throughout history. Different people and cultures believe different things for the answer to this question. The meaning of life as we perceive it is derived from philosophical and religious contemplation and scientific inquiries about existence, social ties, consciousness, and happiness. Many other issues are also involved, such as symbolic meaning, ontology, value, purpose, ethics, good and evil, free will, the existence of one or multiple gods, conceptions of God, the soul, and the afterlife. Scientific contributions focus primarily on describing related empirical facts about the universe, exploring the content and parameters concerning the how of life. Science also studies and can provide recommendations for the pursuit of well being and a related conception of morality. An alternative, humanistic approach poses the question, what is the meaning of my life? Questions. So we ask ourselves these questions, right? We always ask ourselves these questions, but I don't think any human being was able to solve and these questions completely. Any of the people, none people is able to answer these questions fully. Questions. What is the meaning of life? What is it all about? Who are we? Why are we here? What are we here for? What is the origin of life? What is the nature of life? What is the nature of reality? What is the purpose of life? What is the purpose of one's life? What is the significance of life? What is the meaningful and valuable in life? What is the value of life? What is reason to live? What are we living for? Psychological significance and value in life. Researchers in positive psychology study empirical factors that lead to satisfaction, full engagement in activities, making a fuller contribution by utilizing one's personal strength and meaning based on investing in something larger than the self. Larger than the self. Large data studies of flow experiences have constantly suggested that humans experience meaning and fulfillment when mastering challenging tasks, and that experience comes from the way tasks are approached and performed, rather than particular choice of task. I think Wikipedia has it right. Right here, it is true. So when we are capable of ending and fulfilling our duties, and I think Kant also said this, people and as humans, we should live for our duties. So if we live our for duties and if we finalize and finish and succeed in our duties, we will be fulfilled. But there is only one side of the question, meaning for the life. Let's continue. Let's see what Wikipedia says here. And it goes like this. Neuroscience describes reward, pleasure, and motivation in terms of neurotransmitter activity, especially in the limbic system and the ventral tegmental area in particular. If one believes that the meaning of life is to maximize pleasure and to ease general life, then this allows normative predictions about how to act and achieve this. Just get it all out. Pleasure, pleasure, pleasure. Likewise, some ethical naturalists advocate as signs of morality. Should we be moral? That's the question. The empirical pursuit of flourishing for all conscious creatures. For all conscious creatures, not just humans. Experimental philosophy research collects data about human ethical decision in controlled scenarios, such as trolley problems, It has shown that many types of ethical judgment are universal across cultures, suggesting that they may be innate. Wow, so it's in our genes. They mean that. It's in our genes. It's in our genes to behave ethical. It's in our genes to have a moral code. Let's continue. The findings show actual human ethical reasoning to be at odds with most logical philosophical theories, for example, constantly showing distinctions between action by cause and action by omission, which would be absent from utility based theories. Cognitive science has theorized about differences between conservative and liberal ethics and how they may be based on different metaphors from family life, such as strong fathers versus nurturing mother models. I don't believe this actually. I don't believe we have an innate code in ourselves. We may have some evolutionary based survival strategies which will maximize the commune's survival rates, and therefore when we do these kind of deeds and fulfill our duties as a people, as a society, we will feel good. I think this is in our genes and in our endocrine system, but this is not real. I don't think this is the way we were in the beginning. So we just learned that it's not inherent. Let's continue. Neurotheology is a controversial field which tries to find neural correlates and mechanisms of religious experience. That's odd. Some researchers have suggested that the human brain has innate mechanisms for such experiences and that living without using them for their evolved purposes may be cause of imbalance. Studies have reported conflicting results on correlating happiness with religious belief, and it is difficult to find unbiased meta-analysis. Yeah, like who could find a meta-analysis that will contain both neurology and theology? It's impossible. Let's put this aside. Let's continue. Sociology examines value at the social level using theoretical constructs. Theoretical constructs such as value theory, norms, anomie, etc. One value system suggested by social psychologists broadly called terror management theory states that human meaning is derived from a fundamental fear of death. Yeah. And values are selected when they allow us to escape the mental reminder of death. I think this is realistic. So as we humans, I think we are way more selfish and way more deceiving than we actually present ourselves to be. We are very, very deceiving creatures. We like to deceive, we like to manipulate, and if this will most likely will cause in our survival, people don't hesitate to kill each other. That's very bad. We as humans, we always had wars. We always waged wars to other countries, to other societies, because this will make us have a bigger share in the pie. This is right. This is right. We fear death. We fear death. In order to get rid of our fear, we even kill other people. That's pretty sad, but I think this is correct. So sociology, positive psychology, neuroscience, experimental philosophy, neurotheology, ridiculous. Sociology has their theories, but I think, well, let's add our conclusion. Okay, I think we as humans, we are built to survive. That is what we learned from our ancestors. Nothing we do, no amount of discovery, no amount of science will change this fact. We are built for survival. Our genes are built for selfishness. It will not change. Even if we live in Scandinavia, which is the most civilized cultures, they still will be led by innate human nature. We are all humans. Nothing will change that. Nothing will change us being humans. Therefore, having very primal reflexes of humans. There is a meaning of life. If there is any meaning of life, we should always follow the search for meaning of the life. Life does not have an inherent meaning, but we always should follow our primal drives, and we should be searching for the meaning of life. We should try to get meaning out of our lives until our dying breath. I love Albert Camus, and that is what he says. The world doesn't have an inherent meaning, but one should always try to find their meaning in the life. Albert Camus.